I invite our prayer chaplain for today, Jorge Gonzalez, to light the Christ candle and read the daily word.
I light the Christ candle to remind us of the light within each of us. It is the power by which we live, move, and have our being. Sunday, January 27, says the moment. I embrace the possibility for good in this moment. In her book, Lessons in Truth, Emily Kendi shared this affirmation. I am a manifestation of God. In every moment, life, love, wisdom, power flow into and through me. Her words inspire me to begin thinking of problems as possibilities. I ask myself, what good things is ready to happen in my life right now? I recognize my divine nature, and my perspective transforms. I find meaning in every situation, every moment. The statement, wherever I am, God is, becomes a vibrant reality. An unlimited divine life, love, wisdom, and power are mine to use, not only as I move through major life events, but also in the ordinary moments of everyday life. God's life, love, wisdom, and power expressed in my decisions and my actions. And from John 3:18. Let us love not in word or speech, but in truth and in action.
Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors, and lead us not in temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory
A reading today from The Voice of the Master by Eva Bell Werber. It is called, Let Me Plan Your Day. Again this morning you come for quiet blessings for our communion together. Your heart is filled with the complexity of living. You seem to see so many varied activities before you, this place to go, that person to see, this task to take up or that one to lay aside. You wonder how you shall always know which is the greater importance, and how you shall so divide your time that you shall always be in your right place, doing the right thing, which I would have you do. Do you not see that by this giving anxious thought, trying so hard to lay a plan for your busy days, you are taking these things into your own hands? You are trying to decide by your own feeble might which is the wisest course for you to follow. Come very close to me, my beloved, for I would give you a secret from my very heart. When you find yourself thus beset by activity, then of all the times is the time to be still. Calm that disturbed, hard-laboring mind of yours. Go back within yourself. Pause there as one in great thirst pauses at a fountain, and take a long drink of cool water. Then, thus fortified, you shall go again about the business of your daily living. Then shall you find all circumstances unfolding and developing so that you shall almost unconsciously do this thing now that you had thought to put off until tomorrow. For that thing which you had intended doing today will seem somehow to have lost its importance. It has fitted itself into some future picture, so shall all your day be lived joyously, graciously, without worry or fret, and an even tide as you pause again at the fountain of all life. You shall see how perfectly a day can unfold when you follow my planning and not yours. All day long you will have been walking with me, turning constantly for another moment of silent communion, and no thought of your own will have entered into the problems which have been easily met and glorious solved. Heed my voice. You will learn how real is this inner life which you are living. Sorry. I don't have a cold. The miracle is, I believe it's an illusion. So when your feet are on higher ground, you can hear the holy sound. You can feel God's presence all around in the sound of Om, peace, Shanti, Shalom. So I have a question for you. Did you ever consider that we are a guest here on planet Earth? Couples shaking their heads, yes? Thank you, Rodney. Actually, I just have a frog in my throat. It won't go away. Okay. But have you ever thought that, well, wait a minute, I'm just a guest here. The Spirit is the host and has set out a magnificent display of beauty, a table of limitless abundance. Just kind of imagine that. So you were born and you're a guest. And what happens? All of these people keep rushing to you and saying how beautiful and adorable and sweet you are. And there's all of these gifts and all of this newness of clothing and perhaps a cradle crib bassinet. And already, before you even can consciously understand it, there is a table laid before you. Have you ever thought of it that way before? I haven't either until I started working on this a couple of weeks ago in my mind. So the Spirit that is the host then has set out this display of life for us. And in that then, have you ever thought about then the attributes of the Christ consciousness, the light, the love, the joy, wisdom, beauty, harmony, peace, and abundance have been given to us. They've been given to us as gifts to make our time here on earth exciting, enlightening experience. See, our joy was to be in that same moment when we're born, and all that excitement that surrounds us and all of that love comes in. That's what our experience on earth was supposed to be. So the question then is this: if all of this has been laid out for us, are we respectful guests, and are we using our spiritual manners? Yeah, spiritual manners. I saw the phrase somewhere a long time ago. I have a file I throw ideas in, and then sometimes when I don't know what to speak about, I just pull one out and say, oh, that's a good idea. And then the work begins. So after New Year's, I was thinking about this, and I was thinking how we use and abuse collectively, consciously or unconsciously to some degree, all of the gifts Mother Nature has given us in the universe. Every time we even throw a gum wrapper on planet Earth, we are not using spiritual manners. It's a different way to think about things. So I was thinking then about New Year's resolutions in the beginning of the year, and I thought, wouldn't it be a better idea to focus on our spiritual manners instead? Not for the purpose of making a favorable expression, like me, New York with all the rules and regulations, and Jackie said to me the other day, you have too many rules about Sunday morning, the way you should look. But anyhow, well, this is not a Sunday morning outfit, but I was cold. So anyhow, yeah, it's still in my head there. But I was thinking about it's to make favorable changes in our life. So instead of resolutions, how do we make favorable changes in our life that says thank you to the universe? How do we do that? And it's important that, well, is there an etiquette book for this, spiritual manners? Did Emily Post write anything for us? I don't know. So I looked up the word etiquette just to kind of see what the word etiquette is about. I love words. And it was actually coined, listen to this, it was coined by the gardener of King Louis the Fourth. The literal meaning means keep off the grass. Etiquette means keep off the grass. So how does that apply to spiritual manners? Because, like Barbara Streisand says, walk on the grass. So how does that apply then? So the meaning obviously changed, but I think it relates back to the original. Do not trample all over our world. Don't trample all over our universe. Don't trample over each other, and don't trample over yourself. Spiritual manners. Keep off the grass. And I thought, wow. So what it's saying is that be respectful, be sensitive, be caring of the feelings of others. And I would add, first and foremost, always sensitive to yourself and your own feelings. What are you feeling? And here's a really interesting question. Would you ever talk to your friends the way you talk to yourself in your own mind? Think about it. Would you ever tell your friend you're stupid, you're fat, you're ugly, too tall, too thin, nose too big, ears too short, don't like your dress, get your crap together, I'm sick of your story, I'm sick to death of you? Would you ever tell your friends that? Not if you wanted to keep them. But think about that. Think about the way that we speak to each other. Universe, spirit, divine mind gave us this gift when we were born. She laid out a table before us of whatever. All these beautiful gifts, all of this love, all of this new furniture, pretty curtains on the windows. Everything was given to us. And it said, here is life. And then because collective consciousness came in and said, this is the way it is, and these are the rules, and here's where you fit into this little box, then we forgot who we were. And instead of remembering who we are, bring back to my remembrance the glory I had with you, the glory before the world began. See, we all had that before we were born, the glory before the world began. You want that to come back to you. Instead, we take all of this stuff from parents, relatives, teachers, ministers, rabbis, priests. We take all of that stuff and we embody it in, and then we forget. We forget who we are, and we forget that there's an abundance out there in the universe. We forget. And that abundance isn't about money. It's about life and love and happiness and joy. We forget. So how respectful, my friends, are you? How respectful are you the way you speak to others? What are your spiritual manners? I know that mine have slipped. And the good thing about that, see, here's where you got to take care of yourself. The good thing about it is when you slip, instead of beating yourself up, you say, how do I make sure this never happens again in my life, that I upset myself and the balance of the world and the person that I have an interaction with? How do you make sure that doesn't happen again? By taking care of whom first? Yourself, right? Does that make sense? You know, some consider manners to be phony and not necessary. But the truth is, as we all know, everything carries an energy and vibration. And it's the energy that we give out to the world that tells the world who we are and what we are. You know, I never leave here on a Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday without thanking either Jules or Leanne. Thank you for your day. And they go, no, thank you. But no, thank you for your day. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of my day. It's not about the work. It's about the gratitude of people that I care about, that care about me. You know, people do make fun of me because of my New York manners, but you know what? I don't care because it's important. One time I didn't get hired, and it was a Unity church. You know why? They said I was too good to be true. I sent thank yous, and I brought little flowers when I went to their house for meetings and dinners that they made. And they said, she's too good to be true. I'm glad that they didn't hire me because I'm here with you, and that's better. So let's look at our spiritual manners, if we could have some up on the wall. And if we could see them. So we're going to skip that one right now because I have them at the end. It's okay, Jules. We didn't check that one. It's totally fine. So anyhow, I'm absolutely convinced, and Branches of Quantum Physics tells us this too, that everything, including our thoughts, choices, behavior, action, are energy and have beneficial or harmful effects depending on what the individual puts forth every minute of the day. Do you agree with me with that? Yeah? Okay, absolutely convinced, and this was written by Pierre Fournier, a professor at Johns Hopkins. I'm absolutely convinced, and Branches of Quantum Physics back this up, that everything, including our thoughts, choices, behaviors, and actions, are energy and vibration and have a beneficial or a harmful effect upon individuals every minute of every day. Where does that put the responsibility of life? Where's our spiritual manners? How are we protecting ourselves and our world? Even spirit, God will not force itself on you. God does not force itself on you. God says yes. God says yes. Spirit says yes. Divine mind says yes. Quantum physics says yes to all that you put out there. But the choices are always ours. And are we starving in despair, or are we prosperous? Are we feasting on that table that's been laid before us? No one, no situation makes any difference. Only you do. Oh, thanks. She's waving back there. Hi, Jules. I was like, what are you trying to tell me? Oh, yeah. Okay. So, some spiritual manners. Seek the common good. Does that make sense? Yeah. Be truthful in facts and motives. Is that good manners? Okay. Promote unity and inclusion. Inclusion, all of us, no matter what we look like, no matter what we smell like, no matter how we feel, whatever we do, we are all one. We are all one. White, black, orange with pink polka dots. We're all one. Care, compassion for each other. It's nice to have compassion in here, but when you walk out the door and you see somebody that's carrying 3 laundry baskets from the laundromat, or you see somebody with groceries and it's freezing out there, are you going to pull over and say, can I give you a lift? Or are you going to be afraid? No, and I can't pick up strangers because they might shoot me. Well, I'd rather take the risk. I'd rather take the risk. Okay. Protect the vulnerable. Some people are breaking right now. Some people's hearts are in trouble right now. Protect them, love them, care about them. Do something for them. Even if it's a bouquet of flowers, you can buy a bouquet of flowers for $4.99 in the grocery. Guard freedom and thought and discussion. Guard freedom. We have freedom. How many people didn't vote? Don't raise your hand. Freedom. If you want things to change in the world, you got to step up. You got to be a part of something. That's our freedom right there. Respect are the nations and people. All people. Do we need laws? Sure, we need laws. But we need laws that have humanity in them. Ensure stewardship of creative all living. Cherish the human family. Provide moral leadership. And this is from Centers of Spiritual Living. This was on, isn't it interesting? Every time I pick a talk and then I'm looking for something, it either appears in a book that I pick up or a Facebook thing I open or on what's called in Centers of Spiritual Living, the listserv. This was on the listserv. So thank you very much, Centers of Spiritual Living, listserv. But do these things make sense? And these are just the normal things that we I don't want to should on anybody. These are the things that we aspire to make us bigger and better people. Thank you for doing that, by the way. Okay. So let us begin. I want to look at some spiritual manners. Michael Beckworth wrote a book a long time ago, Spiritual Liberation. And in that book, he had some spiritual manners. And the first one is gratitude. And gratitude, Michael said, is the birth of spiritual manners. So gratitude is always the first thing that we offer when you're a guest, right? You go to somebody's house, and to show appreciation, you bring a small gift of flowers or wine or dessert or something, and it's your way of saying, thank you for inviting me. I'm so pleased to be here. But spiritual gratitude goes further than this. It teaches us to be thankful for the little things. You know, I've been doing a lot of reading lately in the Course of Miracles, and it's interesting, first when you can dissect the chair is not a chair, but a chair, that part of it, and this is an illusion, and it's not here. But when you can get past that stuff, it's a little confusing for the mind, but when you can get past that stuff and see what it is saying, it's to be aware of each thing that is around you, but not give it so much importance. That's what it's saying. That, this is just a table, and that's fine, and I see it, and I see the window, and that's fine, but none of it is consuming me, and none of it is engulfing and taking my whole life from me. So when in gratitude, it teaches us to be thankful for the little things, like our homes and heat and hot water and food and clothing, clean sheets and blankets. These are the things most of us take for granted. And you'll kind of laugh at me because you'll hear me say it a lot because I'm going to be here a long time. But like clean sheets, I love it when my bed is clean. And the other day I stayed in my pajamas all day because it was Wednesday and I closed the church. What a great day that was. And I stayed in my pajamas all day, but then I changed the sheets. But then when I went to bed, I had to take off those pajamas and put on clean pajamas because I was getting in. So it doesn't take much to make me happy, guys. But my point is this. It's that, do you actually bless your clean clothes? And do you bless your bed and your warm house? And do you look around and just, catch something out the window? The little things. Gratitude for the little things. And what about our bodies? How wonderful they function without us giving it a second thought. They go on every day. But your body is the house of God. So how are you treating that house? How are you treating that house? Is your body the temple of spirit? How are you treating it? Are you insulting spirit every time you say you're not enough, not good enough? Where are your manners? God gave you the table before you, and you insult divine mind all the time, including me, by the way, not you. And I don't mean you, I mean us collectively. Where are our manners? Where are our spiritual manners? Are we grateful, and do we appreciate life itself? Do we appreciate that whatever that is, here, there, out there, whatever it is, do we appreciate it? And science now is beginning to understand what the mystics have known for eons, that the body, mind, and spirit is interconnected and all one. This is the miracle. And the miracle is you. So the second fuel of spiritual manner is enthusiasm. Right? So we have gratitude, and some for gratitude, we have to be enthusiastic about it, right? So enthusiasm comes from the Greek word entheos, which means God in us. Enthusiasm from Greek means God in us. So think about that. Every time we are enthusiastic, we are proclaiming God in us. So when someone says to me, say like, what are you drinking today? You're so happy. No, it's in my enthusiasm. God in me. I'm not drinking. You know, I can be crazy in my house all the time and I'm sober, but high on life. Enthusiasm, it's so important. So when you're proclaiming God in me, as me, is me, this means we're exhibiting the quality of the one source that we were born with. When we're enthusiastic, we can matter, no matter what the circumstance. Choose to be in the presence even more, in the midst of chaos and challenges. That's the key. So if you're in gratitude and you have enthusiasm, no matter what is happening, how do you step up and move into it? And what about being excited about infinite possibilities? So here's the mess, here's the stuff, here's my barrel, and I've taken a big one because I want to dump all this stuff in it, and I want to be miserable. And there it is. Or, over in this barrel, it's even bigger than that one, and it's infinite possibilities. Because from there, I can either be dead or go up. What do you want to do? Where do you want to go? I want to go up. Constantly, spiritually spiraling up and up and up. We can create enthusiasm. You know, we spoke for 2 weeks about co-creating with God. So create it. You have to be it. You have to ask for it and invite it in during your meditation and journaling. That's what I was doing this morning. I was saying, God, I don't feel good. And so I'm praying and knowing that this disease is an illusion and that I'm going to come in here and not be sick and I'm going to be okay and I'm going to be happy. And here I am, okay and happy and not sick, right? You can create enthusiasm. You know why? Because you're happy, because you're in gratitude for your life. So you got to be in gratitude for all you have before you can have the enthusiasm begin to bubble up and become who and what you are. So invite it in. Open up. Use me. Use me, universe. Use me for something better than I am, bigger than I am, for a higher purpose than I am. Use me. Think about the smile of the Buddha is a picture of enthusiasm. That nice big belly, and he's smiling there. I love my Buddha belly. So, not my Buddha belly, my Buddha belly. That didn't come out right at all. Oh, God. Okay. I think I'm turning into Mrs. Maisel. Oh, God. Okay, so the third spiritual manner. Oh, God. See what I mean about enthusiasm? It works. So the third backbone to spiritual manners is integrity. So, oh, God. So how do we define our lives is determined by our character. But our character is not our personality. Our ego is our personality. Our character is the consciousness of who we are. And like consciousness, the sum total of all of our traits, which have been built up from all of our life experiences. So when our beliefs and opinion and values and insights are all in balance with harmony, we are basically in fundamental integrity. Does that make sense? Yes? Okay. So the Greek etymology of character means inscribe. And in Middle English, it's defined as a distinctive mark or imprint. So character means inscribe, a distinctive mark or imprint. So would it be fair to say that the character may be the divine impress of God showing up from within? Because when we were born, there was a divine impress within our soul, and that divine impress goes out into the world. So what character have we built? Are we happy with that character? Or have we let the personality and the ego who wants us to only let it rule and not our character rule, our integrity rule? See, animals were given the gift of instinct, but we've been given a higher gift as humans. We've been given the gift of knowing. We know. But when we have that power at hand and we have a moment to make a choice, what choices do we make? What is our character? You are known by your deeds. What is your character? See, being in integrity is not about a religion or moral codes. It's about living with the spiritual principles. And that's why we talked about them for 2 weeks in the beginning of this month, to talk about the spiritual principles, and the spiritual principles then give us the moral code. So it's not about religion. It's about how do we respect universe? How do we use our spiritual manners? So we all, and myself included, we don't always live up to those standards. It's impossible because we are human and we are having this human experience. But we could have a much better human experience when we use our spiritual principles. And the thing is, ABC, awareness brings consciousness. So when you slip a little, as long as you know it and it goes, doing, okay, that's not the way I wanted to act, react, speak, or whatever, then that's all the path that you need to be on. That you're aware. And say, okay, for today this happened, but I am working for tomorrow to be a better day, that I live with a better purpose. So it's the standards that we expect from ourselves. How do we do them? How do we live within that? Most important, we forgive ourselves and get back on track. That's all. We live in integrity and peace. And then respect is the heart of spiritual manners. And respect doesn't mean that we have an obligation to people who are older or have authority, that we think people are better than us. Respect is about acknowledging everyone comes from the same oneness and everyone has the same right. I may not want to invite you to lunch, although all of you are welcome, but I bless your right to be. And that's really important. And when you bless somebody's right to be, you have to bless and let go of them. It's really, really a true statement when we say that people come into your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. I know so many people get so upset when they've had a friend for eons of years, and then all of a sudden it just dissipates and they don't know why. Bless them. Be in gratitude for what you had with them, but let them go. When we offer respect, we send a vibration of goodness out to the universe. Needless to say, the art of respect starts with what? Self-respect. Do you respect yourself? We insult the oneness of our being when we are disrespectful. Again, spiritual manners. So the purpose of this today is to understand, there's so much more. I always do more than we have time for. But the purpose of this is to understand that we were born and there was a table laid before us. And everybody came to us with good wishes and love and joy. And everybody gathered around and said how beautiful, how precious, how gorgeous. Blessings, baby, welcome to this world. And our responsibility to that child is to make a world where that child can live in that and not forget the goodness that that child was born with. Our responsibility to ourselves is to remember that and allow the child within us to come back up and play and have fun. If some of you were ever in my house all day, you would crack up because I crack myself up. I have fun. You know, I have fun. And I laugh and I do stupid things and I sing stupid songs. You know, you should hear me croak and the sun will come out tomorrow. I know it will. But it's fun. It's fun. Think about children, family, your animals. Think about fun. Think about gratitude and enthusiasm, integrity, creativity. Think about fun. Think about all that is good. So I just want you to say these few things with me. So the first one is I surrender to life in full awareness. I surrender to life in full awareness with gratitude for all I have. With gratitude for all I have. So with the utmost respect, for my individual life, and that all beings are in peace, I simply say, thank you, Infinite Spirit. I simply say, thank you, Infinite Spirit. And so it is. Amen. It's done. Thank you.